Okay, hey, we're live. Only 17 minutes late this week. How's it going?
Good.
Okay. So, do we want to get right to it?
Yeah.
Or was there more Blades in the Dark chat to have? Because that was really fun.
I want to play Blades in the Dark.
That's a good game. Good game.
It is a good game.
Good holler out to John out there. You made a great game, man. Okay, cool. Okay, so last week, do we remember what happened?
No, I don't. Yeah, painfully I do.
I think there was lots of running down hallways and darkness and scariness and
Yeah.
as we finish up our Halloween episode in the middle of November. Okay, so I don't think you gained any new contacts, though, did you? Well, you did meet somebody. You met a doctor who you gained the...
Takamura?
Yes. Dr. Mathis. Oh, no, that's the guy who tried to kill you.
Yeah, we fixed him.
Dr. Abel Takawari. So if somebody had a good conversation with them and thinks they would make a good contact, they could add them if they wished. They're not in jail. That's a big thing. They're XMI.
Takawari?
So I don't know. Who talked to them the most? It's a
Not
toll.
Probably me, yeah.
Would you want them... are you getting their contact info? Do you want to add them, or are you...
Yeah, sure.
So when you click add, and then I'll tell you how to... It's a doctor. Abel is the name, like A-B-L-E. And then Takawari. T-A-K-E. Take. Wari. W-A-R-I. And I think they are a Septox, like you. So that makes it a real good one. And as a type, I would say they are probably business or acquaintance. You didn't really do business with them. I'd say an acquaintance. The list is acquaintance, business, subordinate, adversary, family, friend, or rival. If you got another suggestion, I'll add it to my list later, but that's what makes sense for now. Cool. Okay, so that doesn't really change your relationship with Izumi Musk, but they are somebody you can deal with. You get advantage generally when you deal with contacts and stuff. Okay, so none of them are essential. And you didn't encounter any new groups or anything that you know of. Okay, so achievement. Okay, so...
The ancient creepy aliens aren't a new group?
They might be, but you don't know a lot about them. Maybe next week.
Oh, okay.
They didn't identify themselves and really make themselves known very well. Okay, turmoil. Did your crew alter the status quo last session, changing the world around them for better or worse?
Yep.
I mean, people were literally reshaped.
That wasn't us.
Turmoil reshapes places, people, and factions in a noticeable way.
Yeah, I think things would have proceeded pretty differently if we hadn't intervened. Who knows what would have gone down there.
Okay, so yeah, first things first, everybody gets a 1 on their reactor. And then for second, if you believe you guys did turmoil, then yes, you get another 1. And then did you take risk to follow your drive, to pursue your drive? I think everyone did that. I remember people calling keywords and...
Yeah, I did it, I think, once.
Yay!
Yay!
You get another charge for that?
Yep. Victory. I do not think you yet... This is actually one of the hardest things you've done on your contract as of yet. Just drag you over to the contract so you can see that. And
Ooh.
so you are currently investigating the underwater research facility on Deween, but you have not yet done it. You haven't finished. You're probably finishing this week, so you don't get the point for that, unfortunately. And you haven't breached any parts of your contract yet.
That's good.
That is good, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's everything. So training, the part we all find mega confusing.
Right. Character sheet.
So on your character sheet, you can change one of your training dice, that's the second die, to something else on your sheet. Anywhere you want. As long as it isn't something your expertise in. So we talked about last week us doing an investigation, because after all of that, you guys went in and found that crazy guy had somehow hooked him and a bunch of scientists up into some sort of crazy alien biotech hybrid device and used them as parts, which is really freaky and gross. And you are now stuck with this bizarre situation. Oh, and the other marquee dudes flew off in some unknown direction, so it's time for some investigation. So if you think a skill might be better for investigation, now is the time to change your training. Likewise, you can change a specialty within a department. So you can change one of your specialties within engineering or within operations to any other within that aforementioned department. Have we all figured this out this week? Last week I had a hard time explaining it.
No, I've got it. It's just trying.
It's
to
just
decide.
hard to make decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, decisions.
There's a lot of options. And
Make decisions for me.
communication skills. I don't have very many on that column, so
Yeah.
We also, at some point, need to dig into the whole, like, you can buy extra points, but then you got to pay upkeep on them, and I don't know
I think
if we can afford that stuff or not, or maybe we need to wait till we finish this job and then we can actually consider some of that stuff.
You can sure do it off the contract. You can actually do it to yourself on your ship. If you're flying somewhere that's far enough away, you'll have time to do that sort of thing. Otherwise, you might not have time. So yes, if you were looking for communication skills for Noob Deeb, that's a difficult thing, as you are completely min-maxed away from comm skills.
yeah. So
You're like,
I can
talking to people?
Yeah,
Who wants to talk to people?
We could trade characters. That would be how you
yeah. Right.
if that's what you want to do.
I can't really move anything around. Like
No.
I can move my gather information point, a single one,
Yeah.
up and down. But so I'm basically maxed out as far as I'm going to be for gathering information.
Yeah, that's because you're a double ops character. This actually happens quite a bit when people play two of the same department. It's kind of interesting.
Oops.
They tend to have a ton of points in, as you say, operations, and very little in the other two.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's just
It's interesting to see how min-max players kind of work in this game. Or don't work, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's always like, oh, you haven't maximized that. Oh, well, you're kind of okay. And so you get kicked back from not being min-maxed, and
Yeah,
then people.
that's why we have advancement. No worries.
Yeah. That's what would be good at that reason.
Yeah, I just want to have 5 dice whenever I roll anything ever. 5 dice is fun. Okay, cool. So are we all done that then?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think I want to change it.
Zatal, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like everybody then. Okay, so when we last left off, you were in a room at the heart of a spire, looking real creepazoic at this massive device that's up on the wall that's made of people mostly and a variety of other parts. And everyone's flown off now and everything's still and people are dead. And you guys were wanting to look around and try to figure out what the fuck is going on, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is weird and creepy.
I don't look around.
What's going on here,
That
Captain?
didn't-
Come on,
that didn't work out.
aren't you curious?
No.
Or did that change?
I was curious once. Never again. Curious twice? Shame on me.
Did this doctor voluntarily hook himself up to this machine?
That's a strange word. Voluntarily.
Humans are strange.
Mathis?
Interesting, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, either this is the subject of his research and this was his goal all along, because he's crazy like that, or somehow being here and studying it somehow took over his mind. I mean, those are the two possibilities, right?
Yeah, so the biggest issue here that you know is one that Mathis is actually a archaeologist, not the biotech. The biotech's the guy is Tuckawary.
And
So you know
Tuckawary is with us, or is he back at the ship?
He's around. He can be pretty much wherever you guys want him to be. He
Yeah,
took
I'm
some
just-
people back to the ship, and he's probably hanging out by the airlock.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to examine this and figure it out, he could maybe help us now that it seems like the situation isn't immediately dangerous. But yeah, I was just saying, this archaeologist, either he was secretly some kind of crazy ancient alien worshiper and he couldn't wait to go turn himself into some mutant alien thing, or this happened to him because he hung out by this spire too much and it got in his brain. So everybody keep your brains closed. No letting the spire into your brain.
Easy.
Okay,
I will not let my brains out.
So the way we're going to do this is an investigation project. So it takes kind of whatever time it takes in a lot of ways. There'd be a certain amount of milestones you complete, and as you complete them, you gain information. And once you get the certain number of milestones done, it's 12. So what do you guys are looking to, what's the question you're looking to answer, and how much do you want it, what are you trying to find out? Because we don't normally do multiple investigations. So if you want to include things like looking where those shuttles went and what's going on in the other parts of the cargo bay and the biolabs and all that sort of stuff, things are pretty much safe now. Everybody's bugged out. Whatever the hell is going on with alien stuff here is pretty much over. I mean, if anything happens, it would be as a result of you guys failing your roles and making encounters happen.
Exactly.
Mechanically. But as you can tell, things seem safe now, is what I'm trying to tell you.
The doctor thought they were safe too when he was researching it.
So
Just
we
saying.
know this in the scene because you guys are standing there in the dark, everything is scary, you're breathing hard, and then the lights come on. So all these work lights start turning on. They were shut off for a period of time after the tachyon burst went out, and all lights just start popping on. There's a slight buzz from the reactor is obviously connected into this. The reactors comes back on, the one that you'd shut down, and you suspect that Dr. Takawari is probably back in contact with the facility now that it's no longer being invaded. He's reestablishing control of the system. So the reactor's spinning up. You see all the lights coming on through here. Through the ship's sensors, you can see the whole facility's coming to life. And he's controlling you remember the access ways that were kind of folding up? The one that your ship isn't on, the access way is slowly moving into position so you can gain access to the rest of the facility again.
Cool.
Hooray.
Okay.
And him and his group is moving towards that entrance right now through the spire. That's what's going on. So the way that this tends to start is oh, it looks like I didn't update this. Okay, so is this really all out of date? It is totally out of date. Okay, great. Just give me half a second. I updated all this stuff and then didn't update the document that's on this computer. So what you're going to be doing is there's a couple things you can do, and the first station that tends to go first, especially if you're newer players, is like a sensor analyst station, and basically because you're in a project, range stuff don't matter as much because the project's considered you walk around the whole station scanning everything for however long you need.
Right.
And so if you just give me a minute here, I'll
That's basically what I'll be doing.
Yes, you're the sensor analyst as actual position, so it would make sense that you would do that. I just need to republish my PDF. Wait for it to update. Just take a minute. I fixed up all the investigation stuff just for this session and then forgot to update the document. Always the way. Okay, so let's just see, did it update already? Yes, there it is. Perfect. Wow, that's fast. Thank you, OneDrive. Okay, cool. So, the stations begin with, and I'll just go through the stations so you guys can think about the sorts of things you want to do. So, sensor analyst, it's observation, is the method of sorting opportunities from the inconsequential. So, basically, your job is to determine what sort of clues should be examined. Find out what's hidden, notice the positioning between them, you know, all that Sherlock Holmes and reconstruction of the crime scene kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, you see a hole in a wall in this, and so you can tell it's bullet holes and that sort of thing. And then there's researcher. That's if there are documents and stuff about, you can start to collate those and move through them. Medical examiner. The studying of the many terrible corpses and alien things and stuff. DNA. Determine nature of death, life forms, pathogens, poisons, that sort of thing. Interviewer, go talk to people. Even in this age of there's a video for everything, which would be what the researcher would be going through, it's still sometimes good to actually talk to people and find out what they think and believe and what's going on. Yes, mechanic, people. Impacts, wear, damage to things, so you can look at things and figure out how all that stuff's like broken and why it's broken, how sabotage happened, origin of devices, that sort of thing. So both those, say the medical examiner and this dude could probably have a look at this crazy device. Programmer, unlike regular documentation, you have secure databases and stuff. You have to like tear those apart and sort through the remains, reconstruct them for fragments and useful data. Astronavigator, fold signatures and movement of, traces of the grav drives, where they went and how they moved and that sort of thing. That's done by that guy. And then finally, one that might be less useful is surveillance. The surveillance position basically watches groups interact with each other. So say you're in a ballroom trying to investigate what's going on with something. You would watch all these different social groups interacting and figure out what they were doing and what was going on. So the investigation we kind of use for anything from a crime scene to figuring out a social situation, the setup, and who's running everything. So, Um, there's a difficulty is depends on the complexity of the investigation. This is a bit of a puzzle, so it's going to be hard. That's 4 difficulty. And the number, depending how well you do, you'll get 1, 2, or 3 milestones. And because I think if we want to do everything, do you guys want to investigate the whole place, and including outside and looking for those ships and stuff? That would be a protracted investigation with 12 milestones. And you get between 1 and 3 on every success.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or do you guys just want to do the inside and not worry about where those shuttles went? And then it'd be like an elaborate, which is probably 9.
We don't need to know where the shuttles went.
It's like that's the only thing I actually care about. This place.
That's actually more important because that's part of our contract is tracking these guys back to their main base.
No, it's not. Since when? I thought we were supposed to find out what was going on in the facility. That's it.
Yeah, each facility, but then a major part of our contract is discovering the location of their main base.
Obligation.
It's not here, though.
Obligation Article 2. Discover
It's
location
not
of terrorist
here,
base.
but wherever they're headed, that might actually give us information on that.
We'll find it eventually.
Or we might find information here about where they're going.
You might.
Right,
So let's do the
shuttles.
protracted one, and then you've got access to everything.
Yeah.
And so that means if you guys kick ass at this investigation, you could figure everything out in 1 task each. If you don't, it could take longer. If you fail, you still get 1 milestone on failures. But bad shit tends to start to happen.
So am I using my survey sensor for this?
Yes.
All right.
So you're doing the sensor analyst station. You're going to wander around and basically scan everything and try to figure out where all the clues that you can deal with are.
And then I can spend a charge to get 2 more advantage.
Yeah, you can do all the normal stuff. Let's look at your sheet. Okay. Oh, you are hurt right now.
What?
You currently have a resilience slot. It's going to give you a negative. Someone can patch you. Or you guys could take a break and actually get healed properly first. Do we want to do that?
There's no time. Every moment we waste.
Dr. Captain is a toll. Do you want to roll
All right,
to
then
heal him first?
I'll patch him, sure.
Better be able to patch while I search.
Well, we call it what it really is.
He grabs you and goes, "Don't move, slime boy." So you're basically doing biosciences, medicine, and you pretty much just have to succeed.
Okay. And how many threat dice?
Oh yeah, it's a standard patch, I believe, on a person. So it is it was a 4.
4.
Jeez.
Yeah, armor is 3. Boom, and you charge. So
Wow.
I will take it off Noob's sheet. There you go, and you get a patch. Boom.
Nice. So I got
Yeah.
no disadvantage, and I get 2 extra because I'm burning a charge on my survey sensor scanner.
Okay,
Is that right?
you can.
Sweet. And the threat you said was...
Oh, and by the way, there is no compensation in this, unlike negotiation, because negotiation, you only have a certain number of stations, and you have to complete it within that. This is you can do as many tasks you want, might take longer or something, but you have to fulfill all the milestones, so the compensation thing doesn't exist.
Okay.
So,
I don't
go ahead,
understand
roll.
what you're saying, but
Oh.
what was the threat on the roll again?
The threat on the roll is 4.
4. You sure? Because that's what it was for the Band-Aid.
Yep. It's not a band-aid, he's like suturing your lungs. And look, you failed terribly.
What, for real? No, I got 1.
Yeah, you got a 1. Okay. So, what sort of info am I giving you for a single success on this? Okay, so let's start marking this somewhere. I'll make a...
Investigations start slow.
An investigation box or something.
The first crumb leads to the rest of the trail.
Oh, of course, it doesn't work after you do it.
The real mystery is where.
Okay, I'm just making a box to put numbers in for you. Because that is fun, so we can all see it.
Sweet.
Okay, so we just need text box. And engagement milestones. And then you got 1 out of 12. Okay, so what did you find out? Okay, so as everything's getting set up, everybody kind of spreads out and you're wandering around scanning everything. So the central room in this spire is definitely of interest. Obviously the radio, that's not normal. Most of the other like alien artifacts and stuff have been cleared out. It's pretty much just the building from what you can tell. There may be some sort of... There's probably information... you already kind of figured out the information about how the access things were... I keep forgetting what I call them. But anyways, the big access arms were connected to the spire. You guys figured most of that stuff out. As you move through the cargo bay that you guys hadn't been in yet, there's lots of evidence of people spending time there and cutting at the door and setting up ambushes and things. So there's probably some information there to look for. As you move through the biolab, there's definitely some interesting stuff there to look at. There's a bunch of vials, like, you remember those things that were in the walls? There were these like little tubes that were mostly empty and some of them were slightly green. There's a series of those in here. Some of which are in bad condition, and some of which look like they've been opened and analyzed and that sort of thing. You move through the suites, and it looks like there was some damage to the system here where a shuttle hit, and there's like these little there's like a emergency bulkhead up over part of it, and that kind of closed off a couple of the suites from you, so some people lost their rooms. There's a couple others where the doors are kind of just, they're just still going bonkers, and they're just like slamming shut over and over and over again, which probably explains the noise you figured out. The ready room seems to be pretty much as you left it. The original offices, you don't think there's a lot of info that you didn't find before in there. Nothing you detect particularly. There are signs of a struggle where people were dragged around like they had originally described to you. And then the same with the material labs. This is a little less interesting than the biolabs because it's mostly just materials. The big artifact that they tried to steal from the other one, the one you destroyed, was the most interesting, and that's not here. It obviously had been brought in. There are a couple smaller pieces that look like they are similar, like you scan them and they resemble parts that might have been taken off the device that was replaced with biological parts from the people. So there's a few pieces like that might have belonged to that thing. But they look degraded, like whatever biological parts were there and died a long time ago. But they look like they were more other technologies than biotech. And then the other cargo bay has very little in it that you didn't find when you were there the first time. So that's pretty much what you find out from that.
So basically there's like 2 key places of interest, really?
The other cargo bay, the biolabs are key places of interest, and the central room in the spire. Plus, this did include a quick sweep of the area around the station, and there is still the trail of the shuttles leaving. You might be able to trace that.
All right. Well, with one success, I don't know if I've gathered much more than that.
Yeah, that's one success for this sort of task. It's a very broad task, kind of just orients everybody. But I mean, if you find out more, you actually figure out how they relate to each other, and you didn't roll higher. So, who wants to go next? I don't see Paul anymore. So, what about you, the player Azatol? Brian, does Zatol want to do something particular in this investigation? So imagine he's walking around doing this and he pointed something out to you during this. You would have gone there during that. He'd still be scanning the rest of the stuff. Which thing would spring to mind first? Do you want me to put the rolls up or something on the sheet?
That might help.
Okay, so we change page on the same page. Okay, so I will snip it and bring it in. Take a sec.
I mean,
Gotta love the snipping tool.
the best use of me might just be trying to pump more information out of the doctor.
Yeah, that, and you're the only medical expert, so we have biotech in the house. So
Yeah, I'm not great at that though.
you're better than anyone else in this crew. I will bring it in 1 second. Upload. Okay, so here are the investigation rolls. Let's just
Whoa, small.
roll over a little bit. And I will make it bigger, obviously.
It might make sense instead of putting it on the page, you could make it a handout.
I could do that, can I? That's even better. How do I do that? I just have to...
You go to the characters tab and
handouts. How do I add handout? There we go.
And then just make sure everybody can see it.
All players. All players. Oh, I guess I'm re-importing it. That's weird. Okay, whatever. So you wouldn't want to make it a handout something you already imported. That would be too easy. Okay, so... Okay, that's legible. Cool, you guys should see it. It's called Mysterious Notes because I'm stupid. Okay, let's rename it. Investigation rolls.
Mysterious note.
There you go. So, you have that in your handout. It's a really quick guide to all the types of things you can do in investigation, all the different roles you can take. I'm going to delete this.
How do we see that? Oh,
It's a
there we go.
handout.
Yeah.
Oakley dokley.
Well, I guess we got plenty of corpses to look at.
And a corpse radio. And a biolab full of organic samples.
Okay, So we're just gonna roll me kind of looking at all that stuff into one roll.
We'll do one or the other. You might have to do more than one of these.
Okay.
Like, the corpses in this basically by room in a lot of ways. It's like, hey, what's this? These corpses have to do with this crazy device, or what are all these jars in this other room? Because they're completely kind of separate. His was a thing because he went around scanning everything, trying to figure out what sort of things you guys could look at.
I guess we'll start with this, the corpses with this device.
Yeah, or you could look at the biolab and let Paul look at this in the mechanical way if you wanted, or in a programmy way. It's up to you guys. What do you want?
Well,
This list should also have engineer on it. I don't know why it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and look at the biolabs because maybe I can get some info there that sheds some light on the craziness that's going on in the Spire.
Okay, cool. So you head over to the biolabs. So you see this large... It's not dissimilar to the labs you have aboard your ship, but way bigger, with way more stations. Bunch of specialized stuff that they've built to deal with the Spire in particular. And there's lots of these jars. And these jars are like 10, 15 centimeters tall, kind of this big around. Like, picture like a Red Bull can. They're basically Red Bull cans. And the little jars like that, like somebody would bring in their water bottles or whatever. And they're full of a liquid. It looks like almost like a cryo suspension gel. And they have organic samples of varying degrees of, like, decomposition in them.
Okay.
So there's just a ton of them. So why don't you roll and we can look at them. So you're kind of like looking at all these devices, all this stuff. There's a ton of it. It's all over the place. There's all the standard stuff. There's like the little extra special showers. Like you get in this tube and the shower cleans you just in case you get contaminated. There's garbage system nearby for all the hazardous waste. You know, everything you'd expect to be in a biolab. There's like biological kind of quasi-EVA suit things, and they're all got people's names on them. They're designed for their species and everything. Although most of the doctors are wearing those, so those lockers are pretty empty. It's pretty much what they've been wearing around during this emergency.
Right.
There's a set of emergency ones too, but they're basically flimsy bags that fit over any species and stuff. So, let's start analyzing some biotech.
Mm-hmm. Who's good at that?
That's what Zatol's trying to do right now.
Oh.
I guess so. But this is going to be like biomechanics, right?
Yeah. You could have moved a point from one of your other things, like trace and inscription. You have multiple points in that? Or you could have moved out of away weaponry during the thing. So I would let you do it now because you didn't move anything, did you?
Well, I did move something.
Oh, what'd you move?
What did I move? I moved from mechanics to shield mechanics.
Mechanics to shield mechanics? Yeah, you did the skill training one. Oh. You moved... Oh, you had one in, like, mechanics and you moved it to shield mechanics.
I had one in mechanics, which was pretty useless because Audie's good at that and I was still pretty terrible at it. So. And
you did that today in your specialties? Yep. Okay. Yep. Well, I guess you're rolling 2 dice and you need to use your sampler, which you don't have any dice in either.
Nope.
Okay. Well, let's roll and see what you get. It is a 4 difficulty, so you're going to get to charge. Because you only have 2 dice. So one of the things you can do although it would take a bunch of time, is fabricate things like mods for like one task. But we'll deal with that later. You guys
We'd
are in
have
the
to do
middle of
that.
this now.
We'd have to do that on the ship too, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, you still get one milestone for this. But something bad is going to happen as well. And just looking at my options to see what is appropriate in this situation. Okay, so I'm going to use some points on this. So, 3 dice out of the cup. So you're looking around this room, and you find some broken sample jars that looks like they've been stuffed in somewhere they shouldn't be. And when you find them, you trigger an emergency protocol, and these glass, or they're not glass, they're probably transparent metals or something of some sort, carbon fiber like reinforcement, drops down over all the facilities, and this white hot flame burns everything. You're like, hey, this shouldn't be here. You're like, holy crap! And so you're just standing there watching everything just get torched. And at that point, Dr. Takawari walks into their lab and is just looking at you like, what the fuck kind of look on their face. Like, such a septic look of shock as you burn pretty much all of their research materials. They're just...
Way to go, Captain.
I mean, it was. They were broken when I found them.
So you point to the stuff, and that stuff kind of, I mean, you had to jump back not to get inflamed, so most of that was inside a facility, like someone had stuffed it inside something inside a station. And so that stuff was burnt, but when you tell him that there were jars in there, is that what you mean? He's like, what the hell? That's not proper procedure. Why wouldn't they burn it? Even if there was an accident, you would throw it in, like, there are specific facilities for that. As you see everything just melting and burning and see those facilities in action. Pretty much the information you got out of this very extravagant and good fun time of burning the shit out of everything is that somebody broke something and probably contaminated themselves and or the facility in some way. But you have no idea what the things were in it. You never got a chance to really even look at the samples. So yeah.
Well, what's left of them is probably over there in the device.
Perhaps. Okay. Is Paul playing today? What's going on with him?
He's got kid issues.
Kid issues.
I'm guessing a sick kid because it's that time of year.
Yeah. So why don't we go to your next thing then?
Sure.
You just finished scanning all this stuff.
Yeah, maybe I can zero in on one of the areas.
So using the same roll won't particularly be helpful necessarily unless you have something that you particularly want to look at. But you can definitely, like, you could do some research. There's a lot of data. You could talk to people. We could let Zatul talk to people if you'd rather.
Yeah. I'll do some research. Would that be analysis?
No, that would probably be using your. If I can find a character sheet and look up the name of skills.
Oh, interface research. There you go.
Yeah, it'd be interface research.
Well, never mind. I won't do that then. Although,
Where's that annoying human Audie when you need him? He's wandering around here somewhere. Did you want to talk to people and just continue that scene, and we'll do your next thing? And
sure, yeah.
why don't you look at these different types of roles and think of the sort of thing you can do? Engineer should be on here too, where you use basically any kind of technical skills to examine things of that technical area. Like geosciences might be appropriate for certain things.
Yeah, maybe.
In general. So I'll be adding engineer to this next time I get back to work. Anyways, did we want to continue Zatal? You're currently having conversation with with Dr. Tekawari. You can move that into full interview mode if you wanted. You did mention that before.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense.
You already started everything with a bang.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if I've got him here and something's kind of off and there's a mystery to solve, if I can just try to just move into like a assistant role while he, and get him to tell me like what all this stuff is, and while he tries to figure out what's going on.
So you're basically asking him about what happened, or?
Yeah, I'm like prompting him to think out loud as he thinks through what's going on, and just try to do it subtly so that he just gives me way more information before he realizes like, oh, I shouldn't be giving all of our top secret research information to this free spacer.
Okay, so let's just talk this through a little bit, and let's run the scene. So he's very shocked, and he's like, God, I can't believe you destroyed all of this. Oh, there might be more stuff inside, but this is a huge loss. You say you found a jar outside and that set off the alarms?
Yeah, it was broken and put here. It seemed out of place, but then as soon as I opened it up, it triggered the purge.
He's like,
but it sounds like it shouldn't have been there in the first place.
No, it shouldn't have been. So, well, obviously we were analyzing biological material samples that were in the spire. You saw the jars that are in there. Most of them are empty or dead. We were moving through all of the dead ones, trying to figure out what they were storing, what this spire is for.
And this is the biology lab.
Yeah.
What's his name? So Mathis, he shouldn't have been spending time in here, right? Because he's part of the archaeology team, or would he have?
Yeah, he'd spend most of his time in the material lab. I mean, it's not a large station. Everyone, there's no like locked off areas really.
So I mean, do you think these samples that are out of place could have been more of his work?
I don't know. I mean, he seemed pretty normal most of the time. I mean, he's a human, but still. I mean, so why don't we roll on this so we can have this conversation with some idea on how much information you're going to get. So still hard, because that's this entire investigation. So you're pretty much interviewing like the head dude and maybe a couple of his other dudes. So you can just roll, I think, probably persuasion or insight would be appropriate for this. What do you think? Because you're trying to get them to talk, or are you just trying
I think it's persuasion. I think it's persuasion because it's not so much me figuring it out. It's just getting them to keep the information flow going.
Okay. Because the way you kind of described it,
You
could
put a
have
quarter. You put a quarter in these scientists, and they'll talk about whatever their research is forever. Like they won't shut up about it.
Because that could be kind of insight, right? That could be like you just get them talking and then watch what they say. But it could also be persuasion if you're actually trying to dig it out of them.
Yeah, I mean, if he was trying to lie to me about it, then maybe I would see that as insight. Whereas I'm just trying to like keep him talking.
You're interrogating.
So I'm seeing it as more persuasion. But
okay, go ahead. Persuasion. If you want to spend charge, Septox or Zumi Musk would both work. You could spend on both if you want.
well, let's do Zumi Musk because I've got more than that.
Okay.
And I have to spend a charge because I'm overcharged.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because I was full, and then I rolled 2 dice on a 4th threat, and so that gave me a charge.
Okay, let's see what you roll.
And then you said it was hard, so that means it's
4 difficulty.
4.
Hard bracket 4 bracket. Wow.
Barely.
Holy crap. That is impressive.
What happened?
Only got 1 hit.
You rolled a lot of 0, like no hits, and then the 10, the 8, and the 5. That's where you get everything. Okay, cool. So, so what sort of information specifically? You're trying to figure out what happened here. So you want all the data on pretty much on what they learned about the thing and what's weird about Mathis, what he was doing, how he's involved in stuff. Well, he kind of goes on about a bit of the facility and the science that they were doing and that sort of thing, how they're trying to figure out what this device is for. But what kind of gets interesting is they believe that the samples were samples of different life forms. Like this is an Ark. They don't believe it's an Ark ship, but it might be like an Ark facility or something. Like
an
archive. Yeah, like an archive of biological materials. So,
gross.
And when they analyzed the really, really destroyed stuff, they found, fragmented DNA and that sort of thing of a lot of different alien species, many of which are on this planet. They did find a couple more intact ones, and they're in the middle of going through those. And it may have been one of those that were broken because you do remember it was either a blue or a green label on it. Like little hologram label that had like a blue or green symbol on it, but because you only saw it for a short period of time, you're not really sure which color it was or which symbol. He shows you like the same 7 symbols like 18 times, and you're not really sure. But if it was one of those, then it would have been one of the more intact ones that they found, maybe actually fully intact. That was supposed to be in the secure area, not in the one where you found it at all, over on the other side, where another doctor worked.
Like, how recently could he confirm that that's where it is?
That's where it was originally placed when it was found. And he was going to get to it personally, but he had one of the junior assistants looking at it. A human, female, who is, I believe, they're all dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I roll the ones.
I'm pretty sure it was the archaeologist that lived and the scientist that died. But if you guys remember the opposite, then yes. So, yeah.
So I'm starting to think that maybe like it was the attack that broke the containment of whatever this was, and then that's what happened to Mathis.
Maybe. He doesn't really know.
It's just a theory, but
He was in the biolab during part of that attack and got brought out, and then they started going through everything, and he was kept in the other room, and they did have Mathis on a stick. I was going to bring him around, and just like they had him on a stick. Like, they had him holding him and had him looking around and talking about things. And he was brought out and looked at the spire, or was going towards the spire, and then they went back. And there was a lot of, like, moving around and yelling about things, and then something happened, and the shuttles got away, and it distracted them, they all ran. So he was being brought towards the spire when they all ran away. And they slammed all the doors and everything like that. And Mathis was already ahead of them. That's pretty much what you found out. So, Audie and Noobdeeb, you guys still haven't done any tasks. So this is like ongoing thing while you guys are doing something. So the other thing you can do, Noobdeeb, is you could try to use your skills at... This is the engineering one that... Or actually, it's probably... Yeah, it would be... perception analysis to analyze the route that the ships took. So you can do that sort of thing. That should be on there under... That's pretty much what the astronavigator kind of station does. But in this case, because they're a grav drive, you don't have to use your field dynamics astronavigation. You can use your perception analysis to figure out where the engine's grav drives took them.
My gut instinct to figure out where they went.
No, you're basically analyzing the grav trail.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. And Audie, did you have any ideas of stuff you want to do?
Mechanic. That's what I would assume I'd use, right? So I'm fast at that. But what would I be looking for? Clues?
There was some suggestion about research being done as well. Because there's a lot of records you guys now have access to. Because they've given you access to pretty much like all the video footage and that sort of thing that was happening.
What's the threat on the following the chemtrails?
The displacement trails, that is a 4 as everything this investigation is.
Everything. That's the difficulty of this investigation.
Uh-oh.
You are rolling like just crap today.
I accidentally followed the chemtrails.
You inhaled the chemtrails.
Okay, so...
So I set the water on fire.
Okay, so we get to put another point in here. And let's see what you find out. So you board the ship. They need you to move the ship anyways so they can connect the other tether up to the spire. You move the ship around to the front. And you're using the ship's... Did you use the ship's scanners or your hand scanner?
Oh, was I supposed to use my ships? I used my own.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait, the ship have given you any more? Did you use a charge at all?
No.
Okay. Because you didn't have analyze, right? Your ship does have analyze. If you want to roll 2 more dice...
2 more dice, yes.
And spend a charge from the ship, you can do that.
Do it!
Because I should have mentioned that you were using the ship to do this. Because
sure,
even
if
you swam out there, you wouldn't get enough range out of your...
I'll roll 2 more dice, and I'll burn a charge.
There you go.
We don't need charge on the ship.
Nah. I'm sure you won't get attacked.
Just 2, so slash roll...
2d6. 2d10.
2d10. Yeah.
Ho 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 ho! Okay, so I get to put these dice back out.
Reversal.
Total reversal. So you got 3 more successes.
Holy cow.
So you get a 1 success. Still means you find out the same amount. Just no. Well, I don't have to come up with anything bad. Okay. So, you're basically they're looking around, and you're like following this trail out, and you fly out of the You fly out into the atmosphere, and you do some calculations on a long range scan, and figure out that they were moving. They had originally come from and look like they may be returning to, or it's a little bit hard on the returning side. You only rolled a 1, but they definitely came from Una, which is the moon, one of the moons of this planet.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let's take you over there to see. So this is,
And that's one of the places we're contracted to investigate, but we haven't done yet.
That's what I'm saying.
so that's it right here. C3, Una, Silica Dwarf. It's one of the 4 satellites of Daoni. So yes, that is the information you find out with 1, is that they came from there, and they may have gone back there, but it's a little hard to tell.
I'm pretty sure. My gut says
They could have moved out into that range and gone somewhere else as well, but you could check Una if you wanted, and it's on your contract anyways. Did that work to pull you guys all directly to the thing I was pointing at?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, yep.
Cool.
Una.
Yeah. It's one of the moons. There's a dust ring, Lynn the iron dwarf, Una silica dwarf, and Hedis the magnetic dwarf.
Oh, what happened?
Or Hedis. I moved us and then moved us back. So I brought.
I lost my browser for a second there.
Oh. Oh yeah, you did.
There we go.
Cool. Okay, so Audie, he's out there on the ship doing ship things. Currently, Zatol's talking to the scientists, and you smell smoke.
I smell smoke?
You just smell a burning smell of some sort.
It's fine. It's fine. You're just probably having a stroke.
I disposed of some samples that,
I will.
they say were valuable research, but I think they were too dangerous. We're better off without them.
Yes, indeed. So,
Fake samples.
So do I look for the source of the stank.
no, that's just a joke about what mistake he made.
Yeah.
He botched a roll.
In hilaritude. Okay, so we had one point talked about you doing some sort of
So I've done 2 tasks, and Nudiv has done 2 tasks, right?
I think Audie's behind.
he's done 2 tasks. Audie, you're behind. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm kind of scared. I'm still nervous about this whole deal.
Suck it up. You're a free spacer now, kid.
Uh-uh.
Gotta get work to do.
Okay.
You're virtually immortal.
I'm going. Yeah, right. I'm going to.
What, do you need to rebirth and become a whole new person who's got a backbone?
You fail all the dice rolls you don't make, right?
True.
So you're saying there needs to be gather information done?
So there are a couple things that were suggested that you could do in this.
Yeah, Adi, go mechanic the creepy machine. We'll be anywhere else.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm on my
If you
ship.
don't want to do that, you can let Zatola go and try to do his amazing medical skills on that. You guys really want to recruit a doctor, don't you? Or you can go through the scientists have given you access to the surveillance footage of what happened during this period. You could go through that.
I think I'll do that.
Along with
Make me less
a
insane.
variety of kind of records and that sort of thing. So you
That
basically have a
sounds
giant
so boring.
database of shit to go through.
Okay.
This is the stuff you live for.
Yes.
Are any of us any good at doing that?
That's a research roll?
I think we're all terrible at that.
Yeah.
I
You
thought
have to be a
Audie...
retard to do that research.
Interface research. Yeah, you don't have it for some reason. You kept commerce. Did you move one of your specialties around?
No.
You could move one to research right now. I will let you.
From commerce.
Commerce, perhaps? Unless you think you're buying and selling.
Okay.
And
How
then
do I get rid of that?
I would do it for you if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so...
Thank you.
That should have done it.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, I really need to get that. So many other things to do. Book to finish. Anyways. Okay, so you are now not as terrible at research. Difficulty is 4. You can use your...
Okay.
Oh, you didn't get healed.
Am I hurt? Not
Yes.
hurt.
You're hurt. You have a resilience.
No, I can't do
Satol,
something.
I think you probably did some medicine back when you did that. You were away from your desk at the time, so we would have had you do this too.
Yeah, I still got disadvantage on my resilience.
Do you want to give him a patch?
I thought you got patched. Or
He
do
did
you
once.
Need another one.
He needs another one.
I need
These
another
humans, man, they're really, really, not particularly...
Excuse me for doing stuff. I tried. These electronic dice don't lie. Put a band-aid on it.
Okay, do you want to just
Smack
roll a
me.
medical test? Difficulty hard? 4?
Yep.
Can I roll a medical test on myself?
You can, if you want. You're pretty terrible at it, though.
Remember that scene in Prometheus where she fixes herself?
Yes, indeed.
That was just... I never want to see it again. Did not like that movie.
Okay, so you do at least 1 point of damage, which is enough to heal this, and...
You
There
make
you
it
go.
worse.
You've given him a patch. You have success. Cool. So, this is going to be an expensive mission so far. Everybody keeps getting hurt.
Well, them's breaks.
Okay, so, Audie, what are you doing?
I'm
You are analyzing, you're doing some research.
researching the shit out of this.
Okay, you can use your comm browser to help with this, but you don't have any points in your comm browser. Because you put everything
Nope.
in your gun to shoot things.
That's what I do. I shoot things with dice. So,
Note to
no
self.
advantage.
Demand they play mercenaries next time.
Threat is 4.
Yep.
It's not a big deal. Watch, I'm gonna destroy this.
Roll 6s.
Oh, well.
Wow, you rolled 1 success. And then you negated it with 1 failure. Okay, so you fail. Okay, so
I can't. What do all these papers
this is going
mean?
pretty terrible. So, you're looking at the footage, and there's a lot of. It looks like they tried to delete it. It's kind of hard to delete things in this world, but so it cuts out and it's kind of broken a lot. And as you move through it, you see them charging ahead. You see the shuttles disappearing off into the water. You see similar shuttles coming back in, and you see everybody running and jumping on board, and it's all mixed up and out of order, and it's a huge mess. You try to start correlating it and stuff, and it's just a massive waste time.
Right, it's overwhelming me.
There's no way you can get anything out of this. You probably screw it up more and ruin all of this stuff even more than you think you did.
Escape button.
Yeah, it's total disaster.
Power. Can't. No. I still hear a ringing in my head.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yesterday. Let's see. I can look at. Can I look at like ship logs, or with my mechanics skill, can I try to
So this was the logs that you were looking at. So this is
Right.
what you had for the logs, and you bungled the hell out of that, and you basically ruined all of this evidence, at least for you and your
Yeah.
group.
Well, it's out of my hands now. What could I look at for with my mechanics skill? I don't think it will really apply as a situation that I can.
Well, there is the kind of crime scene area of the cargo bay. You could try to figure out what they were trying to do in there, if they took things, that sort of thing. That is a bit of a sensor's task in some ways. They were cutting at the door and that sort of thing. A certain amount of information you could get out of it that way.
What about understanding the origin of a device?
Yes, you could look at this device. A good chunk of the device is what is not on this list, as I mentioned, is engineer. So if there's any tech kind of stuff you could do, you could probably use your engineering skills to do them.
Okay.
So you could use like any of these skills to kind of just analyze what's going on with that sort of stuff. So mechatronics, archaic technology, would make sense. The devices like inscription trace would probably make some sense. Although I think your compatriot and captain might be slightly better at that sort of thing.
I've got 3 in that.
And so that's the sort of engineering stuff you can do. You could also survey this general area yourself over here. You're not terrible at that.
Over where now?
You could do some analysis of the cargo bay to see what they were doing in there. You could also go and look at this device. So if you don't fail, the other person, like Zatal, if you don't tail and destroy or ruin this device entirely, if something else happens by your failure or whatever, then someone else may also be able to analyze it.
Exciting.
So you can go and check out this facility. So you walk into the heart of the spire, and you see bodies everywhere.
What used to be bodies, or I poke one. What does it feel like?
It feels like dead, man. Feels like a dead man.
Feels like dead. Okay.
Okay, so the floor is like slightly off, like it's not flat. It kind of slopes inwards. And it's made out of the same sort of greeny black material, like kind of like black jade material with like some sort of
black ichor
shapes on it. And then there's the large device. There's a large like spire up the center, and all the bottles around the outside, and this device that's built up in the corner. So you can try to identify this device and figure it out. So why don't we roll arcane technology, or archaic technology, not arcane.
Okay.
So difficulty
is it
4.
archaic? Is it archaic technology, or is it alien technology?
See, that's the thing. Trace would also be very good at analyzing this, because there are pieces like that, but it's a hybrid technology, which means it is more archaic than biotech.
Okay,
parts
that
of
makes
it are
sense.
biotech, so biomechanics can be used for those. Parts of it are 0-point technology, so that's what trace would be used. But the rest of it is older technologies.
Okay. All right.
Like mechanics and stuff.
Okay.
So I will tell you about that stuff for this roll.
Okay. If I burn a charge, can I get advantage?
Okay, yeah, you can use depth analyzer to help your basically engineering.
Whoops. Yeah. Okay.
Mechanical analysis.
All right. So that's 1. And threat is 4, right?
Yippers.
Oh, how does that even happen?
I don't know. You rolled
Dang
three negatives, and
yeah, let's see. Rolling the
this
dice
is a disaster. You guys haven't rolled above like I think I've seen a 1-4 today. Last week you guys were like 4s and 5s and stuff. Half the time. The other half of the
Seriously.
time you were like -3s, so...
How to say, guys? That's one of the best things I do.
Okay, let me figure out how you screw everything up this time.
Can I spend a charge after the fact and try to roll another one?
No.
No, okay.
Not
I
really
tried.
do.
I tried.
Okay, so... You start examining the room in general and this device.
Eyeballs
And,
explode.
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
1 second, let me just write a note.
No. Take your time, please. Take your time to come up with a really horrible description of what happened. Just kidding.
Okay, so what sort of mistake did you make? Okay, making my life difficult.
I want to succeed every time I roll.
Yeah, we'll roll better. God damn it, man, roll better. Okay, so you're examining the machine, and you're looking around at it, and so what you can tell is the device in the center of the room is a robotic arm,
Okay.
and its purpose seemed to be to pick up those jars and move any jar that you would choose and place it inside the device that sent out the tachyon burst. That device has a kind of like a cocoon, kind of like bed or something connected to it, and it would take the jar and place it underneath the bed, and then the biosample would be injected into the back of the head of the person in the bed.
Oh, well. That's pretty obvious, but I guess since I got zeros.
Yes. And so there's also a large device that looks like it's a series of them. You kind of didn't really see them because they're kind of behind this thing. This thing was taking a lot of the thing. There's like pretty much might be like cloning growth pods. So that arm would also be able to put those jars into that.
Growth
The jars seem to...
pods.
Yeah, like you've seen them before. Like they use them to... It's how they grow meat most of the time nowadays for meat-eating species. They take a sample of whatever material, biomaterial, stick it into the machine, and then they stimulate that and make it grow in a predetermined manner.
Cool.
Based on the nanites that go in there and tell it how to happen.
Yeah.
And it kind of expands quickly like cancer does, but not completely out of control. It's like an accelerated growth system. So it uses this. So from what Zatol's already told you, or is probably communicating at this moment about these things, it would probably grow one of the big things, or one of the things into an animal or something like that, and then they would be able to be placed in the bed and have something else injected into it. That's what you discover. And I need you to roll a resistance, an endurance roll.
This is why I didn't want to.
This is why it happened to you.
Me, no.
Yes, because you're terrible. You rolled terribly in all your rolls here. You rolled zeros and negatives, so...
Guys, don't make me do it again. What do I roll? No.
And you roll endurance, difficulty 3.
Okay.
And you are in your shit suit, so...
My shit suit?
You are in your EVA suit currently.
So I get an extra?
No,
advantage?
you'll be able to soak it with that armor, probably.
Oh, yeah, right, okay. I can't burn for this. Difficulty 3?
Difficulty 3.
What is it he's enduring?
I will tell you as he
Yeah.
endures it.
As I fail.
Because like humans have what augmentation do they have? Don't they have some kind of?
They do have something too. So he is very likely to at least soak this with his stuff.
I got a -1.
Okay, great. So do you want to spend the one in you or the one in your armor? I would say the one in your armor.
Yeah, one in my armor, please. Thank you.
Okay, so as you're there, I just did it for you. Oh, that's your pressure shock.
Okay.
Oops, wrong one.
Pathogen. Yeah.
There you go, your pathogen filter. So as you're trying to do this thing, you activate part of the device, and it jams a needle into your armor.
Oh, sweet mercy.
And the filters in your armor, so it's like the gel in your armor, since you put this filter into it, it's got a thing that it isolates and contains pathogens and other materials and nullifies them. And so as it rushes into you, whatever the hell this thing is, it isolates and kills it.
Okay.
And then it slowly starts pumping it out, and pretty much when you remove your combat armor and your filter, you're going to have some sort of material that can be thrown away or analyzed or whatever.
Gross.
So that's pretty much what you found.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, and by the way, the device...
It's going to be highly valuable because I burned all the other ones.
Yeah.
The device has been tweaked and changed. So, like, it used to be a bad lying down with a thing that goes underneath it. That's what I was explaining, how it's supposed to work. And now it's been propped up, and the doctor was in it, and he was plugged in. But that plug that normally would have a jar in it or something was plugged into something else and moved through this. And there was some 0-point device connected to it that may or may not have been part of some other system. You have no idea.
I don't want to understand that doctor's crazy. And it will infect me crazy.
It almost did, perhaps.
Perhaps. We're going to be having lunch and something's going to burst out of my chest later.
Maybe.
So that was pretty scary, guys. I don't want to touch this thing again. Please don't make me touch it again. Please.
Okay, and remember, you currently have...
That was totally worth it.
You currently have You have shock, which is a pathogen that inhibits one skill in your communications. And that should actually be listed there, and I don't know why it isn't. It's busted slightly, so I will have to fix the sheet there. But we'll just decide which one it is, and we'll remember that it's your, I don't know, your politic or sophentology or something.
Yeah,
that's
dumb stat.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, who else had shock? I think it was Noob Deep.
I've got that on there.
Okay, so decide which skill it is, because you're only minor. When it's severe, it affects the entire department. So you're just feeling like crap. Unfortunately, my pull down only lists the departments. I don't know what happened, why it doesn't list more. Maybe I got halfway through it, just stopped working on it and forgot.
Sorry, what were you asking?
Oh, no, you're fine, man.
Oh, okay.
The other two both have shock from the fear tests and stuff from before.
Right.
So,
I think I made...
which works as a pathogen. If you would have got a new pathogen by whatever this alien thing being pushed into you was, it would probably replace this one at a severe level.
Right.
With new amazing things.
So we'd pick one of the skills?
Yes, I'm going to say that it is politic for both of you. So just remember that it's politic, because we can't write it down. And that basically means if you try to, like, figure out lots of people, you're finding it very disorientating to deal with more than one person at a time. When you deal with one person, it's fine, but as soon as there's multiple people around, the shock and danger of the fear shit you went through, just you PTSD out, because it's just, like, too much shit.
Right.
So that's probably why you didn't try to talk to, like, all the scientists or give them a speech or anything, because that would have just been a terrible idea. Like, you didn't even want to do that. Not that you normally do, Adi.
Right.
Your speechifying captain might.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe I gave you
Fair
the
enough.
5th point for that. Who wants to go next? We still have a
We're-
device
we're-
to analyze.
We're at 5, but we've taken 6 rolls, so shouldn't we be at? We haven't succeeded. Well, we've gotten
Yes.
1 hit,
Yeah,
but even
so,
when you fail, you get something, right?
yeah,
we
so you should be at 6. There you go. So you're at 6. You're halfway through the investigation.
And one of these times, we're gonna actually like roll multiple hits.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like totally you could have finished it in like 1 extra task after 1 task each. Like the initial task and then 1 each. 4 difficulties shouldn't be hard, but nope. You guys just are not CSI, Miami, Vice.
You don't want to rush. Slow and steady. Slow and
biotech
steady.
dudes. And you keep setting fire to everything. So you hear some screaming in the spires, Atoll. And as you're docking, I guess, Noob Deeb, you dock the ship.
Yeah.
You're all on comms right now. You see this terrible thing happen to him where he basically gets jammed with his needle and his suit seems to absorb it and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like a baby. I squelch.
So, what other sorts of things we want to do? We can start repeating things as long as they're new locations. You can use the same stations more than once, obviously. Noob Deeb, you could deal with the cargo bay locations. Like generally scan it to see everything everywhere they were moving at a more of an in-depth level. Or somebody could analyze 0-point technology on that device.
Yeah, I think.
Or someone
I'm thinking
could
that's what
analyze
I'm
the
gonna
biotech. And there's also the new sample that Adi made for you.
Yeah.
Yes, you can extract the biogel from his suit and examine whatever the hell the suit was trying to protect him from. Fortunately, it's only biotech.
I'm no good at that, so that'd be I can earn a charge for doing something I'm not any good at.
Well, biotech is probably the thing you're the best at biotech, man. You guys not having any doctor is really difficult.
Yeah, I mean I've got a decent
That was one of the stations.
I've got a decent med tool, so like I can patch us up, but like that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's true. I want to upgrade your sampler or something. Okay, cool. So why don't we do you were talking about doing the trace.
Yeah, let's do that.
And you can use your development kit to aid the efforts aforementioned. And by the way, Dell is there helping you, but he's very quiet as of late. Like his normal antics are toned down. Perhaps the situation freaked out your AI a little bit. But they can't get freaked out, so I don't know. Maybe he's just reacting to the fact that you guys seem a bit subsumed. Oh my god, finally!
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay, so from a 3, you get. Let's look at this. I even had to look at the chart. Because, fails. Outcomes, milestones. Yes, you get 3 successes. Did anybody get a 1 success?
I think mine did.
Yeah, at least once.
That is actually 2. Sorry. Yes, yours was a 2. I can give you a little bit more information in a second, but we'll go back.
What?
Okay, so fails are
And
1,
I
success
think I
are
got
2,
one.
and complete successes are 3.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I got a 1 hit once, and yeah, Nadeep got a 1.
Okay, so I'm going to put that to 8, and then this will finish it off,
Sweet.
I believe. No, you got 3, so that 3 plus 8 is 11, right? So you get to do 1 more task. For you, kind of.
And even a fail will get it for us, so.
Yep. Okay, so
Well,
first, what was yours, Zatol? The one where you rolled a 1. It was talking to people.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
As you're about to head into this room, one of the other scientists come to you and looks at you really, and it's like, I'm actually one of the scientists. I kind of got away. She looks at you, and her name is Carrie, and she tells you that she was kind of dating Dr. Tour on the down low.
hello.
And that the place you found the sample was her, was basically her workstation. And she's really worried. She knew that Dr. Tour would sometimes come and visit her at the station, especially when she worked late or different hours or whatever. And that same day, she was pretty sure he was going to bring her a present, but she never got anything, and he started acting weird after that. And he, when she saw him right afterwards, because she was expecting him to give her a present, and she went back to her desk, because he left presents on her desk several times. She didn't find anything, and she thought, oh, that's a little bit funny, that's okay. And then she saw him at the meal, and he didn't eat, and he looked like he had hurt himself, like he had some bruises, and she swears that she didn't kiss him because he had terrible breath, like he'd been vomiting.
Yeah.
And this is before the Marquis de Roux showed up?
Yeah, this was just hours before the Marquis de Roux showed up.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she actually as she was leaving his office after she had the conversation with him and talked to him and noticed he was bruised and stuff, she noticed there was a rose just lying in the garbage can. And as he had been a hobby as a botanist, they had talked about flowers before, and she was kind of curious, like, was that for me? And then he threw it away. Why the hell? So she's very confused about what was going on, and their relationship totally got cold right after that. But then they got attacked, so she never really had a chance to deal with it, and then he went crazy. And when he was yelling at them to move into the room and do all that sort of stuff, he didn't take her side or talk to her at all. And that's one of the reasons she was with the archaeologists instead of with the scientists. So that. And you also got an extra point there on the, I believe it was the scan for where the ships went?
Yeah, it was the ship roll.
Yeah. So they definitely came from Uma. And the shuttles that left were going too fast to stay at Uma and probably broke orbit entirely.
So they didn't go back there.
Yeah. But they came from there, so who knows what would be in that original location.
Right.
But they just definitely didn't stay there. Sorry. Okay, so I screwed up on the ones. But we just rolled a 3, so what do you're looking at this device from a 0 point of view. So the databases are insane. You basically do a big info dump. You check out the constructs that build it. It follows. You know how some people put their brackets in weird places in HTML? Right? Like in a different place than other people, or have different ways of putting things together, or the differences between like Python and C++ or some other programs. Well, this is a completely different philosophy on writing 0 point, like how to build the constructs and stuff. They're in a very different setup, so it's really confusing. It's also all the linguistical aspects are in an alien language you don't recognize at all. You do gain a sample of it, so you can study that at a later time. You could study it as your last investigation task, try to learn it, figure it out, and then I'll give you more information based on that. You could roll that right now if you wanted. We could just roll it into this description.
Definitely interested in that, yeah.
Okay, let's roll that language then, and I'll continue with this part. So it is an alien language. The difficulty of this is going to be slightly different because you're kind of just analyzing something.
If I spent a charge, what tool would I need to help with this?
This is very difficult. This is like a 7. Because this is some alien language that you've never, ever heard of. So what does your culture and linguistics look like? Since you haven't learned French yet, I don't know if it's particularly hard.
Would be 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of mod would help you with this. Com browser?
Yeah, you can use your com browser to do research on the language.
Watch some YouTube videos.
Yeah, basically you'd be researching like symbolic languages or something of the sort. Like geometrical, like maths theories and stuff like that. You could add that into it. So you can get 2 dice by spending com browser, and then that would be what, 5v7. If you fail on this, you'll still get 1 point. You'll get some stuff out of it. Something bad may happen, and mostly like you won't be able to figure out this language at all, and you basically ruin any chance of trying to figure this language out later until you get more samples. That's what we'll do. So that's like the sacrifice failure, where you're basically going to the data's just not enough. You're sacrificing any of the data, but you'll still get the 3 points that I told you about, plus 1 point for trying to figure out this language.
Interesting. I don't know. Maybe I want to wait and get more info.
Okay, so write down on you'll be doing a different task in this investigation, but record in your notes or something that you have samples of strange alien language. Just so we remember, so you get like advantage or whatever next time you run into this language. Okay, coolio. So we're not doing this. Yeah, let me finish my description then. So, all this stuff was very, very different. Pretty much what it did was try to send out a tachyon communication. That's what the device was designed to do. The 0 point aspects of it are databases and communication systems. It tried to use the Spire, and it used the people because it was trying to broadcast in a really weird way, and it did. So what you suspect it did was sent a message on like the underside of the data flow, like where you don't normally store things. There's every single person's personal area network is connected in most of them, like yours are, anybody with a good one, any core level tech, most rim level tech, some really cheap ones don't, but they're connected into you, and so they have your DNA profile and everything, right? So all your devices and everything, one of them is your biochem kit, and your biochem kit includes a device that syncs directly in your body, and that device tells your personal area network that you're you and gives you the ability to use it without other people doing it. It's part of the security system. What it was transmitting was a message, but on that security layer, which is kind of insane. You couldn't send anything very long. From what you can tell, it's location, some gibberish, and some code to tell it to pass it on. So it's pretty much infected everybody's pans with a message that you can't really read, that seems simple. Like, it's pretty much a tweet before the 280 characters in length. So it's got like coordinates and a short message, and anybody who goes to another system will automatically send this along with the rest of the data flow update they send, and it will be hidden in there, and it's probably impossible to remove because everybody in the entire sector already has it. And it's being synced with the data flow. Because the data flow works, right? It's like a big... it moves around and stays everywhere based on everything that's public gets put on everybody else's clone of the data flow. So where you take it, you bring all everybody's emails with you. You can't read them, but they're there, and so you go to a new system and it updates their data flow with yours, and it's considered it keeps secure by having lots of different ones. So if you bring in like bad info, you'll have a short period of time that the info can be bad. Like, say you try to hack it so you have money or something, but it'll get updated by somebody else's, and if they don't match, then it uses sophisticated tools to kind of sort it through it. It's source save system, right? But it did this in a really weird way and stored it where things aren't normally stored in a really strange way. And so getting this out is going to be really difficult. So it's basically sent a message out to wherever it's from. And it's a broadband thing. So say you guys go off and find whoever's done this, they will get the message immediately upon you entering the system, if you're the first there. And if someone else gets there before you, they'll get it when those people arrive. And that seems to be what his purpose was from the tech. The tech says this system, which was pretty much a big, large, overly powerful, like when people start using zero-point tech, like any technology, everything's more powerful than it needs to be because they're not sophisticated enough to make it smaller and more streamlined. So this is a big version of a radio, pretty much, that was connected to this stuff and sent this message that would be subconsciously read on the bottom. The reason they needed the tech was to kind of connect it into the facility, you suspect. You don't know what the biotech does and how that would allow it to read it. You have no idea. Maybe the message can be only read by certain brains, but you have no idea because you didn't do the biotech part. So there you go. That's 11 out of 12. You can do one more task. There's the cargo bay and there's the biotech.
Yeah, the cargo bay.
And the language, which is a separate issue.
Cargo bay.
Cargo bay.
Cargo bay.
Okay, so Noob Deeb is in there doing scans.
Doing the scans.
So you're walking around, scanning shit, looking around.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Trying to figure out what happened.
I guess this would be a survey as well.
This would be an analysis. We'll just tell you what you're analyzing afterwards, because otherwise I'm just telling you before you actually roll the dice.
Alright, so analysis. I guess I can't use survey sensor then with that. I'd have to use...
Yeah, and you don't have that personally.
Depth analyzer. Alright, so no advantage, but threat 4.
Yep.
Not 41.
Threat 41! Oh! Okay, so you complete it.
Yikes.
Okay. So you're searching through... You had 0 successes. Okay, so you're searching around. You find out where they made the barricades. What they were trying to do. So basically, they barricaded this room up and set up an ambush. That's the first thing they did. You see all the evidence of that. Then they started going through the different cargo containers, trying to do something. You didn't really roll particularly well.
They did stuff.
At one point, they it looks like they changed their mind or something because they started cutting a hole in the wall of the cargo bay.
Towards where?
I'll show you.
Towards the spire?
No, on this side.
Oh, over there.
Yeah. So over here they cut a hole in the wall, and what you find, there's actually a big thing in front of it, is there's the remains of a breaching pod.
Oof.
So they didn't go back to their ready room and load it into shells. They actually, their shuttles had a breaching pod on it, a breaching thing, and so it pierced this. And so what happens is, and you can get these on your RAM on your ship, so it has like a piece on the front that breaches, and then a piece that's left over that inflates so you can move into it. And so you find that. And I need you to roll endurance.
Oh, that I can do.
As you are pretty much the only person in here, and you kind of let in a bunch of water, causing a decompression issue. You'll also probably have to fix this, so difficulty 3.
You're just making all this worse.
Yeah. Is there anything I can bump for advantage?
So fitness, endurance.
Yeah.
And then you can use you can use pressure shell will help you if you fail. Not really.
Lifter?
No.
All right, then that's it. So 3. Yes.
Okay, so you basically, the whole room, like all of a sudden it lets a bunch of water in, and the pressure in the whole in this room drops, and you're fine though, and you're being sprayed with the water from outside, which is a really high pressure hit, but it's not particular. You kind of misses you, and you need to seal this breach right now.
Paging Audie.
Yeah.
So he can rush towards you, but you need to do something this round. He'll get here next round and be able to help.
Yeah. I'll start.
That would be a material sciences multi-tool utility manipulator kind of thing. If you just want to seal it, you could leave. You could just do an athletics thing and run and shut the door.
Nah, because shutting the door just lets the problem get worse.
Well, you'd be shutting. If you ran out, you could shut the door and close off the cargo bay room, and then it would flood.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and fix it first.
Okay. So this is something technical. It's sealing.
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, 4. It's kind of hard because you're sealing a hole at high pressure, like hydrosulfide and water is pouring through. So yeah.
I'm going for it.
Let's look at the world. What is the liquid on this planet made out of? It is hydrogen sulfide and water.
It's fine. Breathe this stuff.
It's just not in liquid form.
Yeah, material sciences. I can't bump anything to help with that because that's utility manipulator, you said?
Yeah, I mean, you could spend 2 points, which you don't have. Do you?
Charge? Yeah, I do.
You could spend 2 to get 1 point.
I'm going to get one back anyway, aren't I?
What the difficulty is 4, and you currently have 2 at it. If you spend the points, you'll have 3, and you won't.
Oh, it counts after you spend your points? Oh, poo. Alright, fine, then I'll just roll 2.
It's what you roll the task at, not what the task is announced at.
Fine. That's harsh.
Harsh in your jive, man.
Look
Oh, look at that!
Look at that.
Boom! Somebody rolled a great success. So that was a desperate task, and you succeeded at it.
Yeah.
So mark a charge, and you
Never done
seal
that.
it up. You're like, and the sulfur from the hydrogen sulfide starts to burn, and you know how to use that to your advantage because your geosciences, and it's just like you seal it up.
Delay that order, Audi.
So the scientists are gonna have to have workers down here because there's a freaking breaching pod in the middle of their cargo bay.
Yeah, it's a temporary patch.
But you patched it up. It's sealed. This is
It
a
would
big
be
pool of water around you. Yellow water. I'm sure it's nothing but hydrogen sulfide. Nothing else. Nothing
It'd
at
be
all.
way cooler if I, didn't cause the whole thing to happen.
Hey, you didn't cause it. You just failed an
Marquis-Roo.
investigation.
Don't take it on you. Those damn Marquis-Roo.
Yeah, they're bastards. Okay, so
Well, I found a big hole in the.
you've completed your milestone or your investigation. You pretty much know everything that there is to know that you managed to figure out in this kind of area. Is there any general questions that you have that we can correlate the information and answer based on what you originally told me your question was? What the hell is going on here and what these people want?
Yeah.
Ask away, and I shall answer as
Alright.
much as I appear to feel that you have figured it out.
We scooped a few of their shuttles. We probably could have worked that into our investigation. We probably looked them over as well. Do we have
You
any
could have.
questions about those?
Yep, that is something you could have looked at. But
Like, does it feel like they came here for something and got more than they bargained for and then skedaddled, or?
okay, so on that front, it looks like they came here, didn't get what they were looking for at all, because whatever they were looking for did something terrible instead.
Right.
They, by all the information, your other looks, and how that correlates with this investigation, the Marquis-Roo are here to find out about these aliens. Maybe find out where they are, maybe find out how their technology works, whatever. I mean, it looks like your technology is older, except the weird alien sample things that you don't really get. But they are looking for this information for some reason, and they showed up, and by the time they got here, Dr. Tour had already made whatever mistakes he made, went crazy, did this crazy shit, and set off this signal. If they're still looking for the aliens, even if you never find them, these guys will probably find them and send whatever will bring their signal to their system. Because tachyons only go as far as the system. So if nobody ever leaves this system, the information would never get to the aliens if they're in a different system. Which they probably are, but who knows. If they are in a different system, it would never get to them. But this system is under exploration right now, so sooner or later, someone will pop into the system that they live in and bring them the information. Unless they live in this system, and then it's already gotten to them.
Right.
That is pretty much the answer to the questions of this location, I suspect.
Cool.
Anything else? And then we'll take a break, and I'm going to mark this done on your contract.
Yes.
Cha-ching. Cash in.
There you go. So,
Awesome sauce.
Just gotta go cash
where do
in
you
on
guys want to go next?
Una.
Una is closer than Finvar, and you don't know exactly where off-planet they went.
I'm guessing they were at Una, came down here, went back towards Una, bypassed Una, and went all the way to Finvar. And I think the trail will lead us there anyway.
They could. Maybe true. Oakley dokley, do you guys want to take a break?
Yeah. Is there anything we need to do to repair our patches or anything before we go off to the next place?
Yeah, so let's have us flying ahead the beginning of the next session. We'll have some time on board the ship where we'll do some actual medical care, spend a bunch of stuff, complex materials to make you guys all feel good and repair
Mhm.
your stuff and all that sort of thing.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
What? 10 minutes or 5 minutes? What? How long?
Okay. Let's. Do you want to do 15 since we seem like we're taking one break tonight?
Cool.
See you at 8:30.
Sure.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
slightly longer than that, but whatever. So
Okay.
see everybody at 8:30 in 18 minutes.
Gotcha.
Right.
See ya.
Okay.